So, from switching then from Mercedes to Google, and then also from being a machine learning engineer to now a data scientist, you've been through a lot of changes.
Mm.
What was that like to switch from a machine learning engineer to a data scientist?
In my case, there was a lot of overlap in those two roles. And I felt that that transition is probably easier than going from data science to machine learning because as a machine learning engineer, you really have to understand sort of the foundational concepts of algorithms. What are the what are the pieces of an algorithm that you can piece together to create an application that learns from data and makes predictions. So I think that that transition was rather natural, and for me, definitely in the direction that I wanted to go. So I wanted to get more experience in a larger business environment where sort of the work that I did had immediate impact. You can't really leverage data when you're working in a tiny computer in a car, or I should say, it's a lot harder to do that. And so that was the big motivating force.
And I guess I would like to know a little bit more about the exact or specific differences between a machine learning engineer and a data scientist.
On a company by company basis, those roles can be the same. Sometimes it can be different. So on the whole, it's difficult to like kind of discern like the exact difference between those two fields. But I would say with data science, there's generally often kind of a business communication aspect. So you're talking to people that are non-technical. There's also a stronger visualization aspect. And then in common, they both share a kind of strong machine learning modeling piece.
I'm curious to hear of a project in which a machine learning engineer and a data scientist would work together on, if you have any examples of that.
What I would say is if you're in a situation where a data scientist and a machine learning engineer are collaborating, first that implies that the business distinguishes between those roles. And so, in my experience, the kinds of work that a machine learning engineer is going to do kind of smells more like software development, but there's going to be a component of training models and deploying models. And then the data scientist is probably going to be taking on more of like the data munging, feature engineering, analytics, and maybe communication. So they'll maybe be playing more of a PM kind of role. Um, I think in some sense the machine learning engineer's job is oftentimes a little bit more narrow than the data scientist job. So in the case where there would be a collaboration, that would be the model that I think would be successful is that the machine learning engineer is really handling the modeling aspect and maybe also the scaling of the modeling, and the data scientist is handling the communication about that project, visualization of results, and also maybe plugging this model into infrastructure where it gets stacked with other models or something like that.